the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how I store my beading supplies. This is the first of the 2015 art storage extravaganza that I'm doing this month. I figured I'd start with beading since I have all my beading stuff kind of centrally located over here, and hopefully I can offer up some ideas for you to get your beading stash under control. Of course, you could use any of these ideas for other crafts that you may do, but this is specifically how I store my beading supplies. So why don't I start with my favorites and just kind of work my way around. These are my absolute favorite storage boxes. They are these kind of cubes of beads. This is by Ultamate Stacker, and the company is like Sweet Scrapcations or something like that. It's very hard to read. It's like embossed in here, but I've seen these online at Joanns and also on Amazon. I get these from my sister's shop, Brian's Arts and Crafts in China, Maine, but they are not an online seller, so unfortunately that doesn't really help you out very much. So the thing I really like about this is that you get all these boxes are on a spindle, and I started off with one of these and just kind of added on as I needed. And I sort them by color, and here I have them kind of sorted by type because I had full strands of these particular beads, but generally it's a mishmash, and that's how I really like to design. When I first started out, I only had a couple of these, and it was actually a little more fun to design because I had this big mishmash of all my greens together, and I just kind of like seeing what happens in the bead boxes, how they all get mixed around. What happens in the bead box stays in the bead box. I just like that kind of mix match thing that happens there. Since I don't really work from a pattern, I tend to just kind of sit down with beads and play. But these are really nice. Also, they individually lock down, which I used to keep them locked down when my kids were little and I used to work upstairs, but now that I'm down here in my basement, I just keep them unlocked. I keep this locked on so they're sturdy. There's like a spindle that holds them all together. That's how I keep most of my beads, and I really love this organization. And then when I pick up odds and ends, I eventually sort them and put them in these compartments because they work really well. So let me show you something that I picked up at a yard sale this summer, and I haven't had a chance to organize it. It came organized actually, but I intended to take the beads out and put them in there. I just haven't got to it yet. Summer, that was like 8 months ago. I haven't got to it yet. But these are Craft Mates, and they make these for all different kinds of embellishments for different hobbies. And the neat thing about these is that they're kind of like pill cases, and you can open them one at a time. And the way they open is that there's a little button here, kind of you push it down, and then you can lift the cap off something, and then when you release that, these are all locked in again, so these aren't going to come open on you. So it's just kind of nice if you're worried about spilling the other stuff when you're working. And then you can just press it down to close it. You don't have to press on that to close it. So that's kind of neat. It's kind of easy. I think I'm going to put the smaller beads. Oh, I'll show you how I keep my smaller beads. My smaller beads are in test tubes. These were just some party favors. Actually, I got these at Sam's Club and they had gum in them, and then when the gum was all used up, I actually just kept the test tubes for storage. And then I got this rack here, and this is available from shotwizard.com. This is actually test tube shooters for, like, I guess Jello shots or something. But I just loved I bought them because I was going to do party favors with these, like put candy in them and stuff, but I just really liked the design and the little rack. I think it was like 18 bucks for the whole thing. So I actually kept them for bead storage because I love being able to see all the goodness. Like, I'm a mad beady scientist. I want to create something crazy with my test tubes of beads. You never know when you're going to find some really cool storage solution. I like to have my stuff out where I can see it. I like to see the color. I think out of sight, out of mind. And if you see these colors, you're going to be inspired and you're going to want to create. And that's, your storage should not only keep your stuff well organized, but it should make you want to make something, I think. Nobody wants to work from a big disorderly pile of garbage. You know, that's not fun. So that's how I keep my smaller beads. Another option for smaller beads, because I have more smaller beads than that, those test tubes hold quite a few beads. When I have even smaller amounts of beads, I like these little Tic-Tac containers, and I have 5 of them. And actually you can buy the beads in these containers. I think it's about $10 at Joanns. You can get a box full of this assortment of, like, I think it's 24 different types of beads, sea beads and bugle beads and stuff, and they just look so cool, and e-beads. But the thing I find with the beads And I don't want to put down Joanns because I do shop there a lot, but it seems like the chain craft stores in general, when you buy the little assortments of seed beads and e-beads, they're very inconsistent. Sometimes the holes aren't all the way through. Sometimes they break. I've done some beaded cabochons and the beads have broken on me from Joann. So now I am buying my seed beads and e-beads from a reputable bead shop like Fire Mountain Gems, or Panda Hall, or someplace I know I'm going to get a consistent bead every time. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you're getting quality supplies. But I mean, these will be fine for crafts. They're really cute and pretty and well organized, and I can always reuse these containers for other odds and ends. So these are little Tic-Tac boxes. They used to have these empty. They were a little bit bigger and they filled the whole space at Walmart and Oriental Trading. I'm not sure if they still have them or not, but they're really awesome little containers. Great for eyelets, for like scrapbooking too. So I have a bunch of those. You don't need to see all of them. And then another good option would be these small, like fish and tackle type boxes. This was another assortment from Joann's, but actually I found these beads were fine. These were Doris, I believe, and I didn't have any problem with these snapping. Sometimes you get an inconsistent one, but you can see that before you bead it. And it came with wire, and I was doing a bunch of bird's nest jewelry at one point, and this wire was really great for that. And I have some left over. And also there's these bigger ones, and I keep all my stone beads together. All my natural looking stone and ceramic beads, if they look like they're stone, if they're chips, like for Tree of Life pendants or whatnot, I keep them all together. This was $2 at Martin's, regular $3.99 I guess. It's just a baseline fishing tackle box. And you can adjust your sizes, which is nice. So if you have a lot of one bead, you can make a bigger compartment. If you have a smaller amount of another bead, you can make a smaller compartment. So, you know, it's versatile. I can keep all my stones together. It works really well. If you have more stones, of course you might need another box. Everyone's going to have different amounts of stuff, but you know, there's just some ideas to get you going. This is a mallet that my husband made me. It's got leather on each side. It was recycled from an old coat, but it's great for wire working. And I don't know if you see this. This is my anvil, and it's got a little spot on there. Sometimes I bang things on that anvil, and then I have this also, this other little anvil here. This is also a clamp, so if I need to clamp something down, it works really well. And over here, which you could probably see, but it's pretty far away, just a little wire coiler. But so I keep everything just really close together. Why am I talking so fast? I'm like out of breath. This is like a marathon. A crafty marathon. Oh my gosh. Okay, what are we doing now? Oh, this. I picked up, I hope I didn't show you this yet because this is take two. My phone has been ringing off the hook today. I can't seem to get anything filmed without a phone call. Same thing yesterday too. I had to like voice over a whole tutorial because the phone kept ringing. It's not even for me, it's for my kids. So this is something I picked up at Harbor Freight. It's just this $10 little toolbox, and I really like it. Let me get this out of the way. Those I should keep out because I need to sort them. These are a yard sale. $3. I got this, another whole bag full of beads. It was crazy. Like, I'm not going to turn that down. So there's two columns of plastic containers, and you unhook this top little latch, and then you have access to all of these little handy containers. So there's some divided ones this way, the short way, the hamburger way, and then there's some that are divided the hot dog way. And then there's some that are completely open, which I love these. I almost wish they were all kind of open. But, you know, just some more options for storing your little tiny bits and bobs. This would even be good for pliers and tools. But I keep my pliers and tools somewhere else, and I'll show you that in a minute. But, you know, it's another option, and I know these are current, and you can find them, and they're $10 or $7.50 if you use your 25% off super coupon that's always in the paper. Or online, I think. Okay, also, these were Stampin' Up boxes. If you have like a bunch of beads, you just want to be able to kind of shake around and see, those are great. If you have these lying around, that's how they used to sell their wood mount stamps. I don't know if they still do or anymore, but that's what they used to come in. And I had a bunch because I took them all out of their boxes and mixed them all up, so it's a big stamp patty on the shelf over there. We'll do that on another video. I'll tell you all about that. Okay, these boxes, I have a bunch of these. These are from the dollar store, so they're $1, obviously. They're in the aisle with like the floral foam and the general crafts, and they're really nice because they stack on top of each other. And so you can pile up quite a few, and they're not going to really tip over or shift. They seem to be pretty sturdy. And they have compartments that are decent size, so like I have all my key rings and paracord stuff in there. And I've just got like random vials and some marbles that I beaded and just some random things that I made. I keep all my paper beads that I made in these. You know, it's just kind of odds and ends. I find that as my stash grows, and I need to purchase more things to store it, I just kind of get a little all over the place with it. But I don't know, I guess, like, these are my favorite, but they really wouldn't work for everything. I wouldn't really want to keep key rings in there. I don't know, I like to try different things, and the way they fit on my shelf is really nice because I can fit 5 or 6 of them. I have 6 of them in that bottom shelf there, so that works for me. Okay, this right here, I like to keep like things together, so if I know I'm going to be stringing a necklace or beading a bracelet or something, I need the cord layer. I'm going to find in here my stringing wire, my cords, I have some artistic wire. All my artistic wire used to fit in here until I came upon a really awesome sale, and now I have another box way up there that's just all wire. You really don't need to see it, it's just a big box of wire. But I keep most of my wires and stuff in here, so I know if I'm gonna do a beading project, I'll just go right here. I can find my strings and wires, my wire jig, any of my wire forming tools. They're all right here, all together, so it makes sense to find them there. And being consistent with your storage, like, I've had that box going for years. I actually have a video from a couple years ago when I used to put all my stuff, all my storage things would fit in a big tote, and I would take the plastic tote upstairs and I could spread all my materials out on my coffee table, and I could work on beading projects while I'm watching a movie. Now because of the extra red boxes, I can't fit them all in a plastic bin anymore, but you know, I still keep the same general bead storage ideas going. These are my bead boards. Actually, one is mine and 2 of my girls, and then I have a large bead board. And the only thing I regret is that I didn't get bead boards with covers, because that would really help keep those projects in progress protected. Projects in progress protected. Well, what I do is I usually will work on one and I'll put another bead board on top just to kind of hold everything in place. So that's my one regret. If you don't have a bead board, buy a covered one. Now this is something you can't find anymore, I don't think, which is a real bummer because I love this. It's my best storage thing, I think, for beading stuff. And this is an embellishment box. It was made by Making Memories. That company's now out of business, and this is a scrapbooking embellishment sorter, basically, is what it was. But it's perfect for my findings. So I keep all my metal stuff in here. So I have all my jump rings and ear wires and basic smaller findings up top. You know, little chandelier findings and, you know, end cones and stuff. And I have my head pins and crimp tubes and bails in the next drawer down. And in the bottom, I have some pin backs and some pendants and some ring blanks and, you know, that sort of thing. So, and metal charms. So it's basically all metal. Metal bead spacers, anything metal goes in here, and it's just easy for me to remember that way. And that's the thing, you have to be able to remember how you're storing your stuff. I did get some macrame cord and some satin cord. The satin cord's from Paper Mart. It's the best deal, and I really like working with this. The macrame cord is kind of thick and hard to string with. I'm not in love with that. I bought that before the satin cord, and I kind of regret it because I don't really do macrame. I was thinking I would use it with on some funky, crunchy jewelry, but it was just... It's not a look I like. It's not really. It doesn't really go with my style. More of a sleek and shiny and bright style, and this is more rustic and rough and not really my cup of tea. But I didn't really realize that until after I had bought it and tried working with it, and it was kind of not. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm sure I'll find something to use it for, but it's not my favorite. All right. Oh, for tools, this is neat. This is a little metal punch, so you can even like punch a hole in a penny. You know, you just kind of screw that down. It's a little screw punch. It does 2 sizes, and you can actually replace those screws if you need to. And I have this little dapping block, and this is for shaping metal blanks if you want to dome metal. I made a pair of earrings with a soda can. I did a video on that, and that's what I used for that. Now here, I'm going to tip it down so you can see. There we go. Hello. Here, looks like I have a lot of blush on today, doesn't it? That's because I do. I have my tools. My jewelry pliers are all in the back of this rack here. This is a just like a tabouret type iris cart. I have a bunch of embellishments for scrapbooking in all the drawers, but on top I have my most used tools. I have no idea why this Play-Doh tool is over here. I think because my kids were using my area and doing some play. But I have my most used tools. I have my rasps and files for wire working. I have my ball peen hammer for working on my anvils, for like flattening out wire and stuff. I have my dapping punches that go with the block. This is just an inexpensive little dapping set, but it's fine for what I do. I don't do anything too fancy. tweezers and little spoons and all those little odds and ends that you use when you're jewelry making. And a lot of tools that you'll have jewelry making will just be ones that you've just picked up and you've kind of invented yourself, which is kind of fun. That's what I love about a hobby, is when you can kind of make your own stuff and your own tools. These that I don't know if I showed you these or not. These are my third hand tools. They're really great for when you're beading and you need the extra hand. They're invaluable for soldering, any soldering projects. I do keep my soldering stuff all separately because I don't generally use them when I'm beading. If I'm making pendants, I'm kind of making pendants, and then the jewelry making comes later. So they're all in a drawer. It's nothing fancy there to talk about either. But that pretty much does it. Another thing that I kind of hang on to, like any little trays and stuff. Like up here I have a big mishmash, but oh, I got my friendly plastic. The old friendly plastic is in here. It's not even worth mentioning. But I keep, like, anytime the kids get like a beading kit and they don't want the little trays that they come in, these are great for sorting beads. Like if you get a grab bag full of beads, you can sort stuff out and get it ready to throw into your bins by color. I like to sort beads and buttons. I don't know what it is. It must be some sort of like character trait if you like to sort things by color. That's how I prefer to sort things. I know you can sort things all different ways, but I prefer to sort things by color. It's just, I don't know, it's so fun. Like buttons, getting jars of colored buttons and the jars are all the same color. I'm not a type A person. I'm not really that particular or finicky, but I like to sort things by color. And this helps facilitate that. And, oh, this is my back stock of wire because I had a great deal. I found all these little spools of wire and they were 12 for like 88 cents, so I went crazy. Or maybe it was 12 for 50 cents. It was insane. Anyway, I had to put it in here because I did not have space in my regular old wire Martha Stewart tackle box. And then I just keep back stock, you know, ear wires and stuff I find on sale that I don't really need to put in my embellishment box yet because they're already full. So there's the back stock is up there. Or if I get a really great deal and an extra pair of pliers, you know, I'll pick them up so I have something extra in my travel bag or to give a friend if they're just starting out in beading. So there you have it. Look for more storage videos coming up this month on the Frugal Crafter blog and YouTube channel. And if you have something in particular you want to see stored, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see. You know, I'm going to be doing videos on yarn and knitting and crochet storage, paper, rubber stamping, scrapbooking embellishments, all sorts of things. All the crafts I do, I'm going to show you how I store the stuff. So hopefully you find it useful and it gets you using your supplies, because it's way more fun to use your supplies if you know where they are. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.